All right, here we go. So let's do this. Let's share my screen. And let's do share some. You said Roxanne? All right, let's do this. All right, I'm unmuted. All right, welcome everyone to April's 5th meeting for Space City Rocketry. Today's going to be a really good one. I'm very excited. We have a huge announcement coming that's going to impact everyone for next year. So yeah, so today we're going to be talking about weekly shout outs, upcoming deadlines. I'm going to play a video for y'all just to get some of you inspired. And then we're going to be talking about the paint scheming competition, spaceport itself, and project manager and chief engineer next year. And then obviously at the end, we'll be having the sub-team updates and we'll end it with questions. So shout outs for this week. Shout out to Pablo from Avionics. Joe and Raj have mentioned to me that he's been doing a really good job with communication. I know he's also like been around with analysis and doing some work for y'all. So good stuff, Pablo. Omar for working hard with analysis on that calculator. I know we were in the lab yesterday. We looked not only at our calculator, but at recovery's calculator and how that complicated that thing is. So good job too, Carlos, even though you're not up here. And then to Scott and Arturo, I know the recovery posted a question about doing a derivative last week. We couldn't figure it out, so obviously we posted it on the general channel. And Scott, where is he? Oh, he's over there. And then Scott and Arturo came through like always. And then also all the bake sale crew, Carlos, Ozzy, Adrian, Ali, Scott, Izzy, Joe, and Haley for being up there and helping us out with the bake sale. It went well. We made a couple mistakes this time, but next one will be even better. So come through. And obviously, I mean, there's a reason why someone's missing here, but all right. And then Ali, he's been being, I'm sorry, everyone's laughing up in the front. And then Ali, he's been super proactive with payload and also with structure. So he's putting in a lot of work right now. So we're thankful for you. Next up, some announcements and deadlines. And there's a lot. As someone very important that walks in the back. Cool. All right. So first things first, I'm sorry about this slide. There's a lot to this, so I couldn't add too much depth. But first off, we have the recovery/avionics ground test. That's tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you want a little location to go, or if you need a ride, it's at 1 p.m. Just send me a DM and I'll be able to tell you. It's going to be good. We had one last time. We had a small amount of issues, but this time it's going to be even better. We're going to have videos and pictures taken so y'all can learn more about what they're doing. AIAA Trivia Night. That's April 7th in room W205. That's going to be fun. A lot of the AIAA members' offices are going to be there. So that's more like a social. So if you wanted to socialize and get to know more people, you could come through. It'll be fun. Also, our next bake sale is going to be April 14th. We're going to try to get a little more creative with this next one. So if you want something sweet, you want to just support the org, just let all your friends know and everyone else so you can come support. AIAA 3rd General Meeting, also April 14th. It's going to be at 7 p.m. More information for a lot of these things are going to come on Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. Also, list of members who are attending Spaceport. We have a slide for this after this, but it's April 20th. So if you're interested at all to go to Spaceport, just know that April 20th is our deadline. That's when we're going to have to make all the payments on the 22nd. So we just want to have a full list on April 20th. Our third progress report is April 22nd. I think this one's going to be a lot easier since there's not that many changes compared to how they were last time. So I won't be asking all the leads to do all this stuff. I can probably take care of that myself with Gustavo. And then also we want to have an SCR end of the year social. I don't know if you all remember the one we had earlier in the year last semester. We went to Herman Park. That was super fun. We had people bring food. So we might have another one. So if you want to help out with team bonding and just have a good time, please come through. More information on that next Tuesday. Also, there is a lot to do for Spaceport. They're asking for a lot. So many things I haven't even included in here, but the school participation letter, the podium session materials, the poster session materials, the technical report, the critical design review, and so on is due on May 13th. So let's just keep an eye out for that. I'll be updating everyone as the weeks go on. So this is just kind of like letting you all know, like the rocket has to be done soon. And I think everyone who's here today in the meeting, or even if you're not here and you're just watching after, I can't wait to see what y'all do at the lab. It's been fun. So, and then obviously Spaceport is June 21st. So if you want to go, it'll be really fun. Just let me know. There's also a QR code in one of the later slides. But before that, I want to share a video. I'm pretty sure this video was made by Emily Humber from last year. So I'm just going to play it for y'all. The reason why I'm playing for this is because I know last week I mentioned the IREC this year wants us to do like a competition video where we get like 5 to 7 like members. We talk about ourselves and the team and who we are, the school, the organization. So although they're asking for something quite different this year, this is something that we did last year. And I'll also put out the link for the whole video that we had to submit last year. So here, let's take a look. Okay. All right. So yeah. So this year it's going to be a lot more work. I know the whole thing was like 15 minutes long. So there's a lot of information you can gather from this video. It took a lot of editing, but as I mentioned last week, if you're interested in helping out and being part of that production team for this year, just send me a DM. It'll be a lot of fun. But okay, let's go to the next slide. All right. Also, I've been having this for a few weeks now, but just I guess another reminder. So we have a like Zenith paint scheme that we have like a competition. So if you're interested in making the scheme for the team, if you've seen Oberon from like the year before, it's very nice. All the colors are perfect. We have the logos on the rocket and so on. So we have a few restrictions this year with the primary colors and the secondary colors. So if you have any ideas of you want the rocket to look like and everything else, we do have like a document with all the rules and like all the logos that you can put on there. I know right now we're trying to figure out what y'all can use to create this design. I'm trying to reach out to the person who made Oberon's design last year. So once I have that information, I'll let y'all know. But a little more about competition. So we bumped it up from 14 to 16 members. Just because of the rooming situation. We are able to stay at New Mexico State now in one of their dorms, and it's a lot cheaper. So that means we can get a couple more members going. And although not everyone will be able to be part of the competition team, we still encourage anyone to go. It's great hands-on experience. You'll get to meet a lot of professionals in the industry and build your network, as I've been mentioning for the last few weeks. And also a team bonding experience. If you ever want to take on like a leadership role and be part of the team and just help anyone out, this will be a great opportunity. And who knows, even if you think you won't make it, you might still have a chance. So scan that QR code. I'll put in the slides on the Discord later on. But yeah, that's it. Oh, I see someone scanning it, so I'm gonna give them a second. Cool. But I don't know who did that. That was not me at all. That was not me. I promise. All right. So as you can see on the screen, we've been thinking about this for a while, about who's going to take over for us next year for project manager and chief engineer. We interviewed a few amount of people, and everyone we interviewed was great. Everyone has potential. Even if you weren't able to make it this year, I still think you should stay in the team and keep working hard, because maybe next year will be your year. So I'm just very happy to announce that Ravi Desai will be our chief engineer for next year, and then Josephine will be our project manager. So, both of them have been so committed the whole year. Ravi came from structures when I was a propulsion lead. He was a structures lead. And then this year he took on the role of taking care of a brand new sub-team being analysis. And, it was a learning experience, which makes it even more difficult than just taking care of a team that was already there. And he's done an amazing job. We talked about how much we learned about rocketry this year. He's going to be a senior next year, so he has all like the mechanical engineering experience. He knows about rockets. He's passionate. He works hard every single day of his life. So I really cannot wait to see Ravi finally be up here and see what he can do. Same with Josephine. I remember we were looking for a couple members to take care of avionics next year. And then automatically I thought them two, Josephine and Raj. And she's shown so much growth. And that's one thing we look at all members is whenever you first join and you don't know anything, every year you keep growing, learning more, putting yourself out there. And they both done that. So I can't wait to see this team take over. Officially, they will be project manager and chief engineer when Spaceport is over. And then meanwhile, we'll be talking to them, trying to get to know the ropes of what we've done this year, things where we can improve, and what they have planned for next year. So really happy to see that. But as always, let's move on to our sub-team updates. And first up is our payload.
Hi guys, hope you all had a good week. Good job to everyone who's been taking exams. Congratulations, Ravi and Joe. First thing with payload is we're adding an additional lab time just to meet the concrete deadlines coming up. Meetings will now be merged with labs, so they're Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Thursdays, 7 p.m. labs still stand. This week, I've been working on the procedures for our heat chamber test. We're hoping to conduct it either Wednesday or Thursday. The 3D printing filaments, I'm going over the trade study and decision matrix that Kevin and Ali have been working on, and looking into 3D printer accessibility. I'm getting new rods, hopefully a trip to Home Depot this week. And then I want to start emphasis on knowledge accumulation, numerical data and reasoning, questionnaire about all things payload, lessons, tutorials. And I think that's it. Also, happy early birthday, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you, Izzy. I do have a question, just so other members can know. The rods, why are you changing those rods?
They're so bent that we couldn't even get like the ballast down.
Mm-hmm.
And when the ballast would go down, Frankie would have to get the biggest wrench like in the lab to take it off. We tried putting like graphene oil on it to not strip the holes, and they still strip. So we just can't even assemble it right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Next up is recovery.
Hey, you're in recovery. Hey, don't forget where you started, all right? All right. First off, recovery is the best sub-team there is. It's a known fact. I'm looking at you, Frankie. Hey, what about that U-boat? So recovery last week on Wednesday, we tested the drogue and main parachute, and you can see there that we threw them off Agnes Arnold. And you can see basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the camera's frame rate and the number of frames it took for it to go from when it fully deployed to when it hit the ground. And using that, we can calculate the average velocity of the parachute, and then we can compare it to these values here that you see on the right. So the first two table here are for the drogue parachute. So we took the weight of the drogue and a 5-pound dumbbell, and then in the calculator it gave us a descent rate of 24.89 feet per second. So whenever we take the average velocity of this here, using the footage, If it gives us around this here, then we know that our coefficient of drag is around 1.5. And then we'll do the same thing for the main. So for that, we took the weight. It was 6.36 pounds. And it gave us a descent rate of 8.06 feet per second. So we're going to do the same thing, look at the footage, calculate the average velocity. And then if it gets us around this here, then we know that our coefficient of drag is around 2.2. Another thing we did is we obtained a solution for the surface area of the inside of the nose cone. Shout out to Scott. Christian and I tried working on it for hours, like a couple of weeks ago. And we weren't able to get it, but Scott like did it in like 10 minutes. So again, we couldn't have made this calculator if it wasn't for Scott. So big shout out to him. But all we have to do now is add the formula here to the calculator. And then once we do that, it should be ready to go. One thing we didn't consider last week, but we thought about is that the pressure inside of the recovery bay is going to act on all the surfaces inside of the recovery bay, not just the surface area of the inside of the nose cone. So we have to add the surface area of the shoulder as well as the bulkhead. So we'll be adding that, but compared to calculating the surface area of the nose cone, it shouldn't be too difficult. Upcoming is just processing the data from the videos, finishing the calculator, and then tomorrow we have the ground test, which should be smooth, hopefully. We'll see. But that's it for recovery. Thank you.
Thank you, recovery. Next up is structures. Haley.
Hi everyone, so pretty much this week we were continuing working on the boat tail, except this is our new boat tail using these new 3D print thickness that were printed out for us. This has the 6-inch shoulder based on the requirements and the regulations. And then we also, so we prepped the negatives and then we finished the negatives last Saturday. And this is us in the lab kind of just trying to knock that out. And then I guess tonight we'll probably try to pull those negatives out and see how they look. We also had a meeting with Chris from IA Coatings. He pretty much gave us a few tips on how we can prevent bubbles so we can get a better finish on that boat tail, and then also some tips as to how we can lay the carbon fiber whenever we get to the layup portion for the MMM. We have the plates apparently came in recently, and the cloths will be coming in shortly. Those have been purchased, and we'll be getting started on that as soon as we finish up the boat tail. And then we have also started on documentation to kind of give a step-by-step process as to how we've done the boat tail so that way future teams can use that. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. Wow, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, avionics, come on. Rox is coming up here.
All right, so for avionics, there hasn't been much that changed from last week. We're still working on mainly completing our documentation. We got the Linux on SD card, and our flight computer code and pre-flight checklist we're still working on. And we're still researching for a seamless recovery avionics and payload design. So we're still looking for ways to add more weight to our avionics bay in order to help out with analysis and just the proper way for our rocket. And our battery testing results are complete. Kurt finished them a few days ago, and they should be in the drive soon. So we'll start analyzing that in order to choose the best battery for both our ground station and our COT system. We have pressure testing and recovery e-matching testing coming up. Recovery testing, of course, is tomorrow at 1 p.m. And pressure testing, we're looking to schedule soon a second one with our stratolocker, which is our redundant altimeter, in order to make that a valid test to send to spaceport. Other than that, that's it for avionics.
Thank you, Raj. Next up is propulsion. I think your Adrian might be presenting online. No? Okay, well, Scott. Yeah, just come up. Let's go, Scott.
So it ended up just being Adrian and I went over to his house and we mixed up some of the potassium nitrate and sugar propellant. And really we just sat there and burned some for fun just to make sure it all worked. And it went nice, as you can see that nice. So what we did in the PVC wasn't pressurized. We didn't constrict it, but it made that really nice flame and a lot of smoke. So next up, I think we're going to start working on actually making like plugs and all that to make engines rather than just burning the fuel. But yeah, everything went well. We might need a bigger blender though, because mine is really small and we're gonna be making larger quantities. That's it.
Thank you, Scott. And then it's the man himself, Ravi, coming up here for analysis. Congratulations, Ravi.
Hello, everyone. Oh, God. Am I using okay. I hope you all had a good week so far and hope you all have a good week ahead as well. Good luck to those with midterms and tests. For analysis this week, this is mainly just the stuff we worked on yesterday in the lab. But once again, with our Open Rocket file update, we made or updated kind of the worst case. Sorry, the worst case scenario MLA system. MLA, by the way, is the new name we've come up with. I think credit goes to Gustavo. It's a modular lower assembly because unlike last year with the modular motor mount and with us being able to take the fins out, this year we've come up with a system that combines the fins to the motor sleeve, which will go over the motor casing. And essentially all of that will be entirely removable and slidable from the bottom of the rocket, thus modular lower assembly. This worst case scenario had three 3/4 inch thick aluminum centering rings. You can see them kind of rough. Yeah, you probably can't see that on the Open Rocket there, and the full 48-inch motor sleeve. This has a stability of just about 1.5 calibers with an apogee of just around 27,000 feet. And this does have a 1.12 pound weight at the tip of the nose cone. So something more exciting that we've come up with is the Zenith R-Mod Fiber for short. It has three 0.35 inch thick fiberglass centering rings along with a much shorter 22-inch motor sleeve. So this removes a lot of the weight from the aft end of the lower airframe and allows our stability to jump up to 1.58 calibers and also our apogee by around 1,000 feet to 28,000. This also has the 1.12 pound weight in the nose cone. So for avionics, I think we're okay. And we don't need to look at ways to try and add weight to your trays for now, but it could change. So the screw calculator is something that Omar has been working on. So shout out to him. He's been putting in a lot of work there. We were able to calculate the deceleration of Zenith upon its landing. And then from that, we were able to calculate its impact force. These screws are what we're looking at to secure this MLA system. So through this calculator, which I can link to if you're interested in looking at more of the complex details, but we determined that with a factor of safety of 1.6 and the use of number 12 screws, we need a total of 12 screws. So that gives us 4 on each centering ring, which lines up pretty nicely for manufacturing reasons and also assembly at spaceport. It'll be a lot easier to assemble a centering ring with 4 screws rather than a number higher than that. So now what's left for the MLA system is a trade study to determine the best material for the centering ring. We're looking at wood, fiberglass, and aluminum, and whichever one performs the best in some of our categories that we've defined, we'll go with and then start manufacturing as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Also, just I guess an update from me about analysis. I've been trying to import or transfer all the information on OpenRocket into RockSim. Fortunately, I had a small problem where I tried running a simulation and it crashed and I didn't save it. So I had to restart from the beginning. But that's also gonna give us like a second view of how we're gonna fly, since I know RockSim does a lot of the calculations a little bit differently. It usually does give us a slow, a lower apogee. So we'll see. As soon as I'm done with that, I will send it. But okay, that was it as far as the sub-team updates go. Do you all have any questions? It could be about anything. Let me check the chat too. I don't know if that was a question. Why Haley so short? I don't know. Go Gert is not. All right, Omar, you had a real question, right?
Yeah, it was about Spaceport America. You know how you have to have an L1 cert. Is that just for everybody going, or just for the people that want to be on, I guess, the field crew? I don't know what it's called.
I know we had all the sub-team leads. Huh? Oh, repeat the question. Yeah, sorry, I forgot they can't hear me. But Omar's question was the L1 certs. Does everyone that is going need to have it, or is it just certain people? I know at the beginning of the year, we asked everyone who's a sub-team lead to be L1 certified, but Gustavo, so everyone who's going has to have their order.
You're going to be working on the rocket and taking it out to the launch pad.
So if you're going to Spaceport and you're going to be working on the rocket, you got to be L1 certified. So if you are L1 certified or already started working on it, your chances are way higher. So yeah, it's fun. Building your one's fun. It is a little pricey right now, but if you just have any questions about it, just please let me know. We'll send more updates on that. But does anyone else have any other questions?
I would just like to announce that Jordan and I are fighting this Friday at 6 p.m. So catch me there with Jordan.
At first I was like, why are you saying that? But then I just remember what he said. Tickets on sale now. Cool. Cool. Does anyone else have any questions? Anything else? Yes.
There is no deadline, I don't believe, as long as you have
1 second.
get there. You do need your certification, like into headquarters by the time you get there, so they can register. It's better to have your card back, so the sooner the better.
Okay, so the question was, when is the deadline for you to have your L1 certification? That was from Raj, and then there's no deadline, but you need to have your cert by the time you get to competition. However, it is a little time consuming, but not in a bad way. So I would just suggest you getting started on it now if you're thinking about it. And even if you don't want to go to competition, I still think it's really good for you to have it. And unfortunately, I don't know if Hobby Rocketry is planning on having if they're gonna do anything for the first semester. So it will be on us from now on to plan anything as far as launching goes.
And to answer Nico's question, what if we're just like on the side? You can be on the side, but if you're gonna be like going out to the rocket pad to help assemble the rocket and put it up on the pad to get it ready for launch, you do need a certification. I will check on that, but I don't think you need one to be in the in like the assembly area or like the judge area. It's only when you go out into the range to go set up the rocket. And where is the flight? It's in Las Cruces, Mexico, in Spaceport.
Okay. Yeah. I got confused too. I thought he was asking about the flight, but he's not. Okay, anyone else have any questions? Anything else? No? Okay, well, next week, we'll have a lot of more information about all the deadlines I wrote today on that one slide. So it'll be important for y'all to show up and get to see what that about, especially the social and everything else. So yeah, just let me know. DM me any questions at all. I'm here to help. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining. Good luck for everyone who's taking any midterms this week. Y'all have a great week.